everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope you are doing well. We've got about a minute to go before we start. For those of you who don't know, this is Random Quick Draw. And I am your host, Josh Hendry. This is the creative game that is randomly fast and vastly random. And tonight, let's see if I got a good focus on that lens or not. I can't tell. Oh my goodness, yeah, I gotta get comfortable here, man. So I'm excited. This is my new setup. I got my new camera and I got my lights and everything, and so hopefully that'll be it's a good setup for this. We may tweak it a little bit moving forward. We'll see. But tonight what we're drawing is an alien directing traffic with a cupcake in a graveyard, if I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure I got that right. So I've done Cupcake before, like seems like very recently, so kind of weird to be doing that again. It seems like yeah, seems like that's kind of a repeated each week. It seems like I repeat something from the week before, which is kind of weird. Alien directing traffic with a cupcake. I'll just put cupcake. Now, if this is something that you would like to do, draw along, feel free to do this at home. I'm using comic book paper that I've cut down to size, and then I printed out kind of this layout that I've created. So if you would like to do this, you can certainly sign up for our email list, and you get access to this as well as the random quick draw list that I'm pulling all of these ideas from. Or if you want to, you can just color the one that I draw tonight. I'll have that up online, and that's free for anybody to use. All right, so let's get going here. Alien directing traffic with a cupcake in the graveyard. Alien, definitely think about the head with the big eyes, kind of like the Scream by Edvard Munch. Think about that shape for the head. Graveyard, I'm thinking like wrought iron fence, probably some tombstones. Cupcake, I don't know how a cupcake comes into play with an alien directing traffic, or why an alien is directing traffic in a graveyard. So I'm thinking zombies might be a part of this, maybe. There could be spirits or something like that. Why an alien is directing that traffic, and why there's a cupcake. Man, wow, this is a challenge. I don't know if it's going to be a full moon. I'm kind of feeling like I should put a full moon up here. Do some hills or something like this. I don't know. I'm thinking like a wrought iron fence kind of. It seems a little bit spooky and a little bit sci-fi. It's kind of a weird combination. Put some different tombstones out here maybe. I don't know, but where's the traffic? So traffic going in, traffic going out. Spirits or zombies? Spirits or zombies? I don't know. Why cupcakes? Ooh, this is it's a challenge, I gotta say. Challenge, for sure. I can make him a little bit creepy because he could smile. Yeah, could be alright. Yeah, that dude is definitely creeping me out. Maybe the tractor beam is sucking up the zombies. That'd be kind of cool. I guess we're going with zombies. But why cupcakes? I don't know. So, yeah, I'm just trying to make these characters as they go into the background a little smaller as they go to this UFO that's sort of hovering over the hill here. And draw another one here. I don't know how believable that is as a zombie. Well, I'm thinking that the cupcake is definitely going to be, and the icing on top is definitely going to be a brain. That would seem to have to be, yeah, that's got to happen. So cupcake, we'll make a nice big cupcake. There's the cupcake right there. And then the icing is going to look like brains somehow. So, I'm going to do something like this with the curly design on it. Yeah, that looks like brains, right? Sure, Bob. Why not? Yeah, that's definitely brain-like icing. Now, for alien fingers, they can't be normal fingers. They've got to have like a little bit of a froggy tip to the fingertip. So it's got to be a little bit bigger like that. Yeah. Because we all know aliens have froggy tipped fingers. That's obvious. Okay. Holding out the cupcake. He is saying, go, man, to the ship. I don't think his shoulder's in the right way to be pointing back to the ship. Maybe he's saying, let's get you standing this way. Let's get your hand going. That's a little bit better. Okay, so we'll do the wrist will bend down to accommodate the shoulder that is saying, yo, man, get yourself to the ship if you want brainy cupcakes. Yeah, that was not my best alien voice. He's got a triangular collar, don't you know? That would be the best shape for the collar, I think. Yeah, we're gonna get the shoulder right at some point. It's gonna come together. There we go. There we go. Now we're talking. I think I might have to put a finger right here because the hand is gonna have to be more around that way, I think, in order to accommodate. Well, maybe he's kind of holding it out a little bit, so then maybe that could make sense. Maybe. guess technically I could make his arm do whatever I want to. He's an alien. Maybe he has octopus arms with frog leg fingers. That would be kind of hilarious. Then that would allow me to point off in that direction and get it smaller, like, go, man. Go there. That's a little pointy finger, right? Yeah. And he's got little tentacles, maybe? That is one crazy alien, dude. Maybe his legs are like alien, like, or that way. Maybe they're not like normal legs, because, man, aliens can be so much room for creativity when it comes to aliens. Now, if you've ever spotted an alien, I'm sorry if this is not accurate to what you've seen. Please forgive me, I have never seen an alien, so I am literally going off of just whatever idea pops in my mind. And if you have seen aliens, obviously that could be not the best thing, and I do apologize for that. I do not want to misrepresent what aliens look like. Yeah. So we're going tentacles here for the legs, though. So you know, if that's not right, you let me know in the comments, please. 'Cause, Huh. Oh. Yo. I gotta take that a little bit later. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Is it coming together here? This is a unique one for sure. Never maybe this guy coming up out. I'm thinking his eyeballs hanging out. I'm thinking. Whoa. Why do zombies always seem like, in my mind, they should be wearing plaid? I'm sure that's not accurate. But that's what I always think. I'm like, okay, this is a zombie. What kind of clothes is he wearing? Well, it's clothes that are worn out and tattered and torn because he's been rotting, and then that just means that the clothes have to be plaid. I don't know. Oh my goodness. I am not happy with that dude at all. Yeah, that's not great. I feel like the legs are all the legs are curled under, and I don't like that on this feller. I want some variety, man. Is that better? That's kind of better. You got one here, two curled under, and then sort of alternating with these. Maybe that's okay. I kind of feel like maybe this needs to be an arm. Maybe it doesn't make sense that way. I don't know. It almost feels like popcorn. Go. I feel like his arm should taper, but then if it's too foreshortened, it's not going to read. Alright, so I'm going to foreshorten it. I feel like he needs to have some, like, multiple rings at the wrist for some reason. That seems like good shape language for alien garb. Okay. So then that would be about where his elbow is, and then it tapers down. A couple of rings for that, and then into the hand, and froggy finger, and get there now. Go now. Something about this looks a little too poofy around the waist. Tighten that up. We can make this kind of weird. Like, kind of like a bunch of tentacles or something. That would feel really creepy and gross. Like, maybe. I don't know if I like that. That doesn't really rhyme with what we're going with, I don't think. Picturing like shiny silver kind of clothes. Okay. probably some little plasma particles or something floating around these guys to indicate that they're being lifted up off the ground. And into the UFO. What kind of weird sci-fi drama has got an alien directing traffic for a zombie? Oh my goodness. Ooh, this is ridiculous. Going back to the plaid. Hmm. Okay, maybe something's happening here. Okay, maybe we've got enough here. We need some more tombstones though, I think. Okay, I think we've got something to work with. Wow, we've been working a long time on this one. I don't know what our time frame is here, but let's see, what do we got? I don't even know what time it is. It's 9:10. What? Wow. Been working really long time. Okay, so time to ink it up. Alright, so these are going to be evergreen trees. And I just needed some points to get started, and then we'll just make these kind of taper down as they go. Alright, this is our wrought iron fence. We just need some spikies and some horizontal elements there. These kind of rhyme with the pine trees. They might actually be fighting with the pine trees for visual attention, which is not the most desirable thing, but that's alright. It is what it is. Gotta be very careful not to run my hand through what I've already drawn. I'm a lefty and I got a bad habit. That's why I'm trying to work from right to left so that I don't smear the ink as I go. This is very easy to do. I might put RIP in there later. I'm not sure what I'm going to put on there yet. So I'm just going to leave it blank for now. Hopefully I don't forget about it and I'll come back to it. Alright, so draw a little bit of fleshy lines here. And some tattered clothes. Yeah. Cool. They're dirty, don't you know? Oh yeah. Dirty clothes. But you can still see the seam. These are a good old pair of jeans. What kind of jeans do zombies wear? All kinds. That sounded like the start of a joke. What kind of jeans do zombies wear? If you can finish that joke, put it in the comments below. Big toe, next toe, next toe, next toe, little baby toe. There we go. Our barefoot zombie stepping out of the grave, going for a brain cupcake, 'cause that's what zombies like. And that alien is saying, this brain cupcake is not for you. But if you just follow those other zombies, maybe you can have one. Sound like a deal? he said. Zombie said, good. And in zombie lore, can zombies even make out any words, like even a word, or do they just kind of moan and groan? Like, can they say brains? Because I know Plants versus Zombies, they would say brains. So I think maybe in zombie lore, there may be some zombies that can talk a little bit. He's got a bit of a black eye. Oh, it's worse than a black eye. He's got a dangling eye. So I kind of want to have that eyeball looking at the cupcake, even though by law of dangling eyeballs, maybe he couldn't look at it. But I think as an illustrator, it's okay. There's a little nose hole, got your little teeth here. Yep, I think we're going pretty good. Now he's smiling because that cupcake looks delicious. He's like, yeah, man, I just woke up to get a cupcake. That's a reason to wake up right there. Cupcakes. There we go. Alright, this hand is just like gearing up for the grab. Like, I'm gonna grab that. Just curled up and ready for a cupcake. Luckily, with zombies, they can be missing fingers, and the anatomy can be kind of jacked up, and maybe it's okay. A little bit. Maybe. Depends on who you talk to. Oops, sorry for bumping the camera there. A little shake. Alright, we're gonna pull this background line right through here. Yeah. Alright, we need one more arrowhead right there. Yep. How about those sound effects, man? You can't get those sound effects just anywhere. Okay. I'm gonna do one on the bottom here. Okay. Guess they should be happening more frequently as they get off in the distance there. Maybe that makes it look a little more realistic. Cupcake. I think I'm gonna take a sip of my beverage here. I haven't had anything to drink this whole time, and I'm feeling a little parched. You know, this doesn't look as bad as I thought it was gonna look when I got started. I don't love the composition because it feels kind of very flat and straight across, but for a first go, it's okay. Typically, I like the line of sight to zigzag a little bit, but I don't know. It just wasn't happening from the beginning there. So, but it's also cool to do this because I am not like I don't draw aliens much. I don't draw zombies much, which you can probably tell. So maybe what this will help me do is kind of think a little bit more about the different categories that I've posted and how I can look at different versions of aliens and zombies that are out there. I mean, I watched The Walking Dead for a while, for as long as I could stand it. It just got to be a little bit more than I found enjoyable. At first, it was a very cool concept, and it was like there was always a lot of suspense to it, and then there was so much that just was not appealing. After a while, characters I really enjoyed get killed off, and just, I don't know, after a while it was kind of like, okay, it's not that it wasn't still gripping, it was almost like it was too gripping, like it was sort of like I wasn't looking forward to watching it because I felt like I was going to go through some trauma. I don't know. Got enough without having to feel like that's what I'm getting ready to go through just to watch a show. You'll have to forgive me, I'm a lefty, and so I often block parts of the drawing. I don't want to do that, but I also sort of do it just because that's how it works. When you're a lefty, you kind of seems like you block out a lot of what you're drawing and writing as you go. That is one weird looking alien. And remember, if you're drawing along, if you do this, please go over to the website and show us your work. I would love to see what you came up with. You can just contact me. You can upload your work, and I will post this when it's done. I usually throw it into Photoshop and clean it up a little bit with the lines, and then make it into a coloring page. And you're welcome to color this one if you want to, and print it off. If you're an art teacher, or you know, you've got kids or whatever that might like a weird coloring activity, because this is definitely weird. You can feel free to use it. That's what it's there for. It's for people to enjoy. So. Interessante. Oh, I forgot my alien's arm. Well, looks like I'm wrapping up here. I got the UFO, I think, still to ink, and probably a couple of other things. And then erase and see what we've got for an alien directing traffic with a cupcake in a graveyard. Alright, let's get some little round lights in there. Yep, we got some a little bit more fencing here. Ooh, this thick line. Yep, 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 yep. Wow. Let's do this R-I-P here. R-I. A little bit bigger so it's easier to see. Yep. Got some indescript writing on there. Is that everything? Seems like we got another little line going through there for the hill. Through here. Yeah, I mean that's got. I think that's got it. Yeah. Yeah, if I do that, maybe he looks a little bit shadowed and like the light beam is lighting him up a little bit. Yeah, that'll work. Well, it's not the worst drawing I've ever done. I don't think. Hey, there you go. Cool, man. It's an alien directing traffic with a cupcake in a graveyard. Need to let that dry for a minute before I erase too much, but I think a lot of it is dry, so I can probably erase a good amount of it. Hopefully I don't go over anything. Let's see, it's been a while since I was over here. Maybe I can erase over here. Careful around all that dirt I was just putting in there. I don't want to erase it yet. Smear the black. Although maybe if it's dirt it doesn't matter too bad. I don't know. Oh my goodness. We sure do draw some funny things on this show. Ooh. Then the cool thing, the really cool thing about this is like once you have drawn whatever you're drawing, it's so interesting like how a story kind of develops and what kind of story would ever lead to this being in that a scene in a book or in a movie, comic, something like that. It's just really cool to think about. Like, you can take completely random things and somehow give them context and meaning and connectivity, like they have some association with each other. That when we first started, it seemed, well, that's just absolutely ridiculous. I remember just being so stumped when I first got these, the premise of this, the alien, the cupcake. First of all, aliens and cupcakes don't naturally, I don't think of them associated with each other. And then being in a graveyard, you know, what kind of traffic is going to be going through a graveyard? And this is only one of who knows how many interpretations it could be. I bet other people had completely different ideas going through their mind. And that's why I would love for you to draw your version of what you think or saw. Excuse me. And if it's just too unbelievably hard to associate things, just remember, it doesn't have to totally make sense right away. I started on this long before I ever got the full concept. I didn't have a clear idea in my head. I could see little bits. I could see the alien. I thought if there's anything if they're going to be directing traffic, it's going to either be ghosts or spirits or zombies. And then I thought, well, you know, sometimes cupcake icing can look like a brain. I knew that that's what would motivate zombies. That's how that all came to be. Was not because I had a great plan, but just the spontaneity of it all just sort of came together, and somehow it began to make sense as it went along, as much as it can make sense, you know. So, well, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Random Quick Draw. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, head on over to the website. If you would like to color this, it'll be up as soon as I can get it up. But thank you guys so much. Hope you have a great day, and keep drawing.